A Letter to God, written by GL Fuencts. A Letter to God, written by GL Fuencts. What is he talking in this lesson? This is one of the important lessons which I like the most. Fine. Before you read, now, before we read, pay attention. They say that faith can move mountains. What should we put our faith in? This is the question this story delicately possesses. All right. Now, what is happening here? Faith can move mountains. This is taken from the scriptures. Very important statement here. If we have faith, it can move the mountains. But the question is that where should we be putting our faith in? Which is very important question. We must be making it sure and keeping in our mind. Where should we have our faith, or else where should we put our faith in? Because faith has the power to move the mountains. Now, what is happening there in the story? Look at there. But where should we be putting our faith in? We should be putting our faith in the God, the Lord Almighty. Lencho is a farmer who writes a letter to God when his crops are ruined, asking for 100 pesos. Does Lencho's letter reach God? Does God send him the money? Think what your answers to these questions would be and guess how the story continues before you begin to read it. All right, students, this is one of the important lessons. Here we see that Lencho, a poor farmer, hard-working farmer, who worked hard on his field. He knew his field intimately. What should he be doing and what shouldn't he be doing? What happens one day? There was a great need for him to get rain on his field because his crops were very important for him. And he was thinking that yes, there would be rain. It couldn't happen. And one evening, story tells that as the lady was preparing for the meal, supper, at the time when he saw towards to the northeast, and then he predicted that yes, the chances are it's going to be rain. There would be a rain today. And after some time, what happens? It rains. And then when Lencho, he sees the rain, he feels very happy. He couldn't stop his pleasure by seeing the rain on his field. And he expresses his joy by saying that it is not the drops of the rain. What is this? Rishi, what is this? Sit down. Big drops of rains are 10 pesos. The small drops of rain are 5 pesos. He's comparing rain with pesos because he knew the importance of rain, how important it was for him, for his field, for his crops. The faith he had on God that it would happen for him. What happened in the story suddenly? What happened in the story suddenly? It happened that after few minutes we see that rain got converted into storms, hailstones. And it completely destroyed his field, his crop. There is a statement written. What is that statement written there? The field looks like? Field looks like covered with salt. Everywhere he sees that it is completely covered by salt. It looks something like that. Why seeing this experience, he expresses his sadness by saying few words and statements. What are those statements? Even the pledge of locusts would have remained something for us. Because of these hailstones, the storm, wind, it doesn't it hasn't left anything. This year we will have no crown. This year we will have no crown. What is the next written there? That night was a sorrowful one. What else? All our work for nothing. And finally, there is no one who can help us. We all go hungry this year. He had a great sorrow, a hard-working farmer, when he sees his fields in front of his eyes getting totally destroyed, and then he is thinking about his whole year. How will he survive in whole year? It is not possible for him to survive. Very heart-touching story. It teaches us the great lessons if we could understand from this story. And as we know that, after that, in the second part, we will discuss the second part in the, I think, next video. Why did he write a letter to God? And before that, I just want to ask you a few questions now from this story. Yeah. What did Lencho hope for? Rishi, stand. Yeah, sit down. What did Lencho hope for? He hoped for that there would be a good shower of rain. Why? Why did he hope for like this? Why did he hope for like this? It is not here. You have to think. He hoped for it because he was the person who had complete faith in God that there would be a rain. God would provide us a rain. All right? Very important. It is not mentioned over there, but we just need to be understanding it. Second question, why did Lencho say the raindrops were like the new coins? Sit down. Yeah, very good. He knew that the big drops of rain are just like coins for him because he would store the crown for whole year for his family. That's why he compared it with money. He knew the importance of this. Next, how did rain change what happened to Lincho's field? Do you know? Your first day coming. Yeah, tell me. Okay, sit down. Rain changed into hailstones and it totally destroyed his crops. This is the saddest part of the story. When we read the next, it is more curious, more interesting. How did he receive the answer of his letters and all those things are there. Finally, the last question from this, the first part. Now, Rishi, what were Lincho's feeling when the hail stopped? everything. Very good. Sit down. What was Lencho's feeling? He stood in the middle of field and he said, even the pledge of locusts would remain something what this hailstone had not remained anything. What would we do this year? Our whole hard work went when? There is no benefit. We may remain hungry this year. Where should we put our hope in? These are the questions here arises. After that, we know in the story what happened. So that we will see in the next part. Till that, keep watching, keep supporting our YouTube channel.